Okay. All right. So next up, we have a special presentation from Megan and Pao. I hope I said your name right, Pao. I'm always embarrassed if I say people's name right because everyone gets mine wrong. They don't say Leilani and everyone just call me Lonnie anyway. But this is exciting. So Trofera, our sponsor, is shining a spotlight on Lenovo. Interesting. I'm a huge Lenovo user. My entire company, we all use Lenovo's. So we love you guys. So let's get into this. You're going to share screen, right, Megan?
Yes. Let me go ahead and get my screen set up real quickly.
Yeah, excited to hear what's new with you guys because, you know, everyone was buying everything they could find last year. Everybody was wiped out of inventory. I don't know how well you guys did, but I'm hoping you can.
It was crazy last March.
Oh my God. It's still crazy, right?
It's still crazy. Yes. The thing is I don't think any of us could have predicted the circumstances we've been in for the last year. But yeah, there's still that demand. Everyone needs a laptop now, especially in the education space too, as we kind of move forward to this hybrid learning environment. You know, kids still need laptops, teachers need laptops. And there is this focus on making sure that they have the best experience with these laptops because we are utilizing them so much for all our work now.
Yeah. And Megan, before I drop off camera and mute myself for your half hour, so can you also bring up what's happening with the high value gaming level machines? Because there's a lot of districts telling Learning Council they want to move up in strength of machine because their kids want to run career and tech ed stuff. They want to do video editing, gaming, Adobe Illustrator for career and tech ed, or they're running something else, or you know what I mean? So can you mention that?
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Megan Corkell. I am a brand ambassador at Lenovo, and I have Pal here, who is a technical client advisor. She'll be providing some more details around specs, as she has more of that technical background. So to get started, as you all are aware, this past year has been quite a year. We are 3 months into 2021. We are seeing a sense of normalcy, hopefully soon enough. But terms in the education space, there has been so much happening from kids having to do the virtual learning to now maybe looking at this hybrid learning environment. And with that and all this change, they're going to have the right technology. So throughout today's presentation, I'm going to be talking about our Windows devices for education. I'm also going to take you through our 2021 Thinkpad Transition briefly, just to let you know what changes we have made this year. A lot of the changes that we have made this year are with the focus of improving the overall user experience because, like I said, everyone is going to their PC now pretty much instead of the office, instead of the school, because we're continuing this work from home, work from anywhere environment. But so here, this is just what we've been dealing with, face-to-face instruction, which hopefully we'll get there soon, remote instruction, and then hybrid instruction. And then at the end, I'm going to take you through some of our smart office products. The Google Meet Series Kit is something that is extremely applicable to this hybrid learning environment and maybe might be a good fit for these classrooms in the future. So when it comes to Lenovo's product portfolio, as you can see here, it is very robust. There is a lot going on. For today's presentation, though, we'll be focusing on the ThinkPad, ThinkStation, ThinkVisions, and a little bit of that ThinkSmart. Because we understand that it's not a one-shoe-fits-all kind of deal. Customers have different specs, features that are most important to them. So when it comes to these window devices that we're going to talk about for students, so in the K through 12 space, especially those lower grade students, when they get a device, they want to destroy it. That is their mission. They want to see what they can do to that. So we kind of think how a child would think, and we have made these features to ensure that these children cannot destroy their system. So you'll see here we have things like the anchored keys, because a kid will take a pen and try to get a key out of the laptop keyboard. So we have those anchored keys for that reason. We also have things like rubber stoppers on these Windows devices, because if a kid, say for example, is in the classroom putting his Windows device into his book bag, decides to fling the book bag across the room, his device will stay protected and not have any marks or anything like that. We also have water-resistant keyboards. makes sense. Kids prone to accidents. So we have that as well. One other thing that you'll notice on these Windows devices are the dual cameras. I don't think these students or kids thought that they would be utilizing their PCs so much for their learning experience. So thank goodness that these Windows devices do have those cameras. And then as you can see here, we also have the stylus that is garaged in some of these devices as well. So these are just some of the Windows for Education products. When you look at the 100E, this is going to be for more of, say, like kindergarten to second grade, maybe. With the 100E, it does only come in that clamshell. And then when you move up to the 300E, you do have that convertible option, so that yoga option. So with the 100E, it's just for the standard students. Kindergarten or first grade, second grade probably would be the right device. Doesn't have all the bells and whistles because if they're that young, I don't know if they have a need for it yet. But with that 300E, like I said, convertible also comes with a pen. And then another key feature of the 300E and the 11E is the fact that you can use, say, a pencil on the screen. Some of these devices also have the Gorilla Glass. I believe that's 300E and the 11E. So that's just helping with that display option as well. And then with the 11E, it is a clamshell convertible as well. With all these have Intel. The 14W does have AMD as an option instead. So the 11E and 14W could definitely be used as teacher or admin devices, depending upon the use case, the workload that those teachers or admins have. Pal, anything to add on this slide?
No, absolutely, you nail it on the head. What you mentioned, 11E and 14E has a better, less robust look and robust materials per se, since we're just going up with the generations, with the ages. But the 14W is a really good option for teachers and admin side of the house in the education system.
Yeah. And then I did just want to include, I know this is a bit of an eye chart, but this is just more for you all's knowledge. I can send these slides over later on. But as you can see here, like I said, 300E and the 11E are that 2-in-1 convertible device. With the same screen size pretty much across the board. With that 14W, though, you're going to have the option for FHD. Pretty much the same in terms of memory, 8 gig across the board, except for that 100E. And then the same storage for most of them, except that 100E, once again, because that is the entry level device for more of those younger students. And then the weight is pretty standard across the board as well. And as you can see, they all have cameras and the spill resistant keyboards as well. And then, so like I said, these devices right here are more geared towards those students. Granted, yes, 11E and 14W could be used for teacher or admin devices, but depending upon their workload, depending upon how many applications they may be running on a daily basis, especially because a lot of them are, teaching from home, they might want to look at maybe a T series or an X13 or the X1 Carbon and X1 Yoga. I have a friend that I'm based in Raleigh, North Carolina, and one of my best friends is a teacher for the Wake County school system. And last year, her school thankfully got all new X1 Yogas. So she's been having only a year-old device that she's been having to really utilize a lot this past year at home, and she loves it. So depending upon what type of teacher you are, maybe even so, for example, if you are a teacher that is running some more intensive applications, the X1 Extreme might be a great option for you. This is kind of the product before you move to one of those mobile workstations. L series is great for our entry level, kind of an introduction to ThinkPad. We have been selling so many L series in the education space as well. These could be student devices as too, for maybe the upper level students, like in the high school age or even middle school, I would say, with the L series. Moving on up to the T and X. So T and X are considered our premium notebooks. And with the T14S, X13, and X13 Yoga, it did get a clean sheet or redesign this year for our 2021 transition. And with the T14S and X13 Yoga, you'll notice that we moved to a 16:10 aspect ratio. It used to be 16:9. We did this based on direct customer feedback of wanting that larger screen size. Some other little minor changes you'll notice with the ones that are with the red box around it is that we did expand that trackpad this year. Once again, customer feedback. And we moved the fingerprint button up to the top of the keyboard. And with this fingerprint button, it is now also the power button. So it's called the smart what is it, pal? Smart finger power. But I can never get it right for whatever reason. I struggle. But pretty much it's a power button. You can unlock your device, extra layer of security. So really great thing that we updated this year. And going off of this idea of things we updated to really focus on that user experience, the ones in the red box also have human presence detection mode. So with that human presence detection mode, when you walk away from your laptop, it'll lock for you. This is great for security and also battery consumption as well. And then for some of these red box redesigned laptops, you also have the option for low blue light panel in the display. Once again, we're staring at our screen so much, why not add that into the display? Also with the premium notebooks, you do get features, some security features that are from our ThinkShield brand, which is our security brand. So when you move up the stack to the T and the X, you do have the option to get this e-privacy filter built into the display of the laptop, which is great because say, for example, you're traveling, you're taking that laptop with you, you're at the airport, you feel like someone's peeking over your shoulder. You don't have to worry about it. You have that privacy guard. Pao, am I missing anything on the premium notebooks that was updated this year?
Yeah, a couple of things. Another thing to point out is, for example, for the T14S, we decided to move from an HD camera to a full HD camera. Yeah. So, improving that customer experience, but also for the X Carbon and X1 Yoga, we added 4 far-field microphones to the top lid of our device. So increase the better sound, and you have a better sharp pick up your noise voice kind of thing, and it will isolate the environment noise. So the person who's behind the screen can hear you better. And on top of that, we added 4 speakers also to those X1 line for you to have better feedback in your conference. So we're just trying to enhance and get a better audio and better video in our new lines, because we've been working from home for a year, and who knows moving forward how it's going to be. So we're trying to give you guys the best experience that we can with our ThinkPads.
And that brought up a great point. So with the T14S, X13, X13 Yoga, they now have the FHD camera because it is a premium notebook. And also with teachers, teaching from home, they probably do want a better camera. So that is a great thing that we added to our premium note, or to the T14S, X13, and X13 Yoga. The one thing I do want to mention, building off of what Pao said about audio, X1 Carbon, X1 Yoga, we did move the speakers from the top part of the keyboard to the sides of the keyboard. And those are the user-facing speakers, I believe is what it's called.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we moved those off to the side, once again, trying to provide the most premium audio experience. All the T and X will have those 2 far-field microphones. X1 has the 4. And one other thing I do want to mention with these laptops, and just a trend we are seeing in the industry, is memory. So especially for teachers who probably have running multiple applications, saving all this data, all of that, with the T14S, X13, X13 Yoga, along with the Carbon and the X1 Yoga, you can get up to 32 gigs of memory. If there is anything that you want to upgrade or move to next with this coming year, I would highly recommend at least getting 16 gigs of memory. This is what we're seeing in the industry, so highly recommend that. And then with the X1 Carbon and X1 Yoga, once again, these are our premium laptop, our ultra premium laptops. They will have the 16:10 aspect ratio as well. And we also moved the venting to the back of the laptop this year because we were hearing from customers that they were experiencing things like mouse hands, where you're feeling the heat off to the side. And then I know you probably see off to the far right here, the titanium and the nano, and you're probably wondering, what are those products? I will just briefly talk about them. I would not say that they're more geared towards the education space. The X1 titanium and X1 nano is where we are kind of playing around with some leading technology. So for example, titanium and nano has 2 Thunderbolt ports. It can only get 16 gigs of memory. That is because it is so thin and light. X1 titanium is a tablet first laptop, 3:2 aspect ratio. So you'll notice it does have a taller, larger screen size. The nano is our lightest laptop, very similar to the X1 Carbon, but does have a 13-inch screen size. The titanium and the nano, 16 gigs, 2 Thunderbolt ports. Titanium's the thinnest, and nano is the lightest. Anything else that I missed, Pal? I think that covers it for our ThinkPad product.
Pretty much. And the only thing that I just want to add that I think is very important is to all our Intel products. We're moving to Thunderbolt 4 now. So, speed-wise, everything like improving. And any device that we have with HDMI port, we went from 1.2 to 2.0.
Great. And I know we were going to mention some workstations. So we do have quite a workstation portfolio for you all. So these are our mobile workstations. So once again, I know in terms of high school students, that there has been this huge focus on esports, especially because of everything with the pandemic, needing to have, less contact and whatnot. So esports is really taking off. I've been hearing that they're even creating like esports majors in universities now. So if you have, or if there is a student that maybe is looking into gaming, maybe they want to consider one of our P1 mobile workstations. Pao, can you talk about your experience with your mobile workstation?
Yeah, it's funny because Leilani was mentioning that students are looking to use the Adobe Suite and edit videos and edit pictures and whatever. And me personally, I bought a P14S AMD for my own use. I like to do cooking videos and editing. I use Adobe Suite to do all of this, and it works flawlessly, extremely fast, extremely light to be a workstation. So I love my P14S, that's for sure. So when Leilani mentioned about Adobe, I was like, I do use Adobe. I can talk about it.
So like Pal said, she has a use case. She's running AutoCAD. So we have students that are running these special applications. We do have a mobile workstation for them. And then I know there's not probably going to be a lot of talk about updating computer labs yet. But if you are looking to maybe update computer labs, we do have all these other workstations as well. When you move up to that P920 and P720, you're going to get that dual processor. You're going to have more options in terms of graphic cards. The P340 Tiny is probably my favorite workstation just because of the fact that it is extremely compact and small. And shockingly enough, it can extend to up to 6 different monitors. So that's pretty neat as well. And it's really great for like digital signage. And then the P620 is something that we announced last year. This is quite a powerful system. If you're running extremely core intensive software programs, anything like that, maybe you want to consider the P620. It gets to up to 64 cores, 1 processor. But yeah, so depending upon your use case, depending on the student's workload, depending on the teacher's workload. So say they're like a computer science teacher or something like that, AP science, AP biology, maybe they want to consider having a workstation in their classroom or a mobile workstation to work off of at home. So some things to think about. And so right now we're going to switch gears into talking about some collaboration products for the classroom. We announced this collaboration with Google, I believe, fairly recently. So if you see here, this is the Google Meet Kit. We are seeing in terms of the education space that hybrid learning environment obviously needs some updating in terms of technology. So with this Google Meet Kit, it is there's 3 different kits. There's small room, medium room, and large room. So depending upon how large the classroom is, we can make sure it gets outfitted with the correct equipment from Google. And I just want to show you in a perfect world what it would look like. So as you can see here, the teacher is up at the top of the classroom working off a whiteboard with a camera in it so that the kids that are at home can see that whiteboard. This is very futuristic, but very, very neat stuff that we're doing here. And then they obviously have the kids with their laptops. They also have the console that the teacher is working off of. They have speakers. So this is the ultimate hybrid learning environment. And this is all through Google. So just wanted to kind of mention this. I think it's a really great thing that we're doing. I know it is standardized on the Google, but once again, really cool stuff that we're doing. Pal, anything to add on this?
No, I mean, you were mentioning that it looks very futuristic, but think about it. When in a million years we thought we'll be doing this from home, teaching from home, working from home, doing this from home instead of having that one-on-one connection with you guys. So it's not as futuristic. This is what we need right now, because moving forward, we don't know how it's going to be.
Yeah. And we don't know when everyone will be back to normal and, learning from.
Exactly.
So this might be the future, like you said. So, but yeah, just wanted to show that as well. This is kind of what it comes with. I believe it also comes with like the smart camera, which means, so I learned this recently, the smart camera means it can actually track you. So say, for example, you're streaming your, say your lecture or your class or whatever, the camera will follow you. Thought that was really neat as well. So this is what comes in the Google Meet kit. Obviously you need speakers, controllers, and cameras as well. And then I did want to mention real quickly our ThinkVision monitors for teachers, especially if they're continuing to do this hybrid learning, if they're virtual learning at home. Studies show that people are way more productive if they have that second screen. I know I am using a 24-inch and a 27-inch monitor right now. I need my screens. And that's pretty much applies to everyone. They all get much more work done with that second screen. So we have tons of different monitors. I do want to mention real quickly the M14 monitor. So the M14 monitor is our mobile monitor. This is actually what it looks like. And with the M14 monitor, obviously it's extremely thin and light and compact. One single USB-C cable. You can take it pretty much anywhere. And especially in the classroom space, this could be great for teachers, coming into the classroom and being able to have that mobile monitor or take it home with them as well. The M14 does now come in touch as well. So I just wanted to add that. And then obviously, depending upon your workload and what you're doing, say, for example, you are a computer science teacher, you might want to consider our P-Series monitor. And with the P-Series, we also have a 34 and 44-inch curved monitor, which I would love to have one day, but I don't think Lenovo is going to let me have one. Pal, anything to add on this?
No, I just want to say that we have every type of monitors, depends on the needs of everyone, right? We have the entry performance to the premium design. Your students might be doing design, need that power of a P series, of the X series, or they just need multiple monitors to work in, as you say, AP Science, a T series. So we have all the flavors in a portfolio to fit in every single person's needs with our monitors.
And one thing I do just want to mention as well, for some of our more recent monitors that are coming out this year, we're also going to have low blue light panels. We're also trying to add in more of those cameras at the top of the monitors, just because this is the use case, this is what our customers are needing right now. And then I cannot not talk about services when it comes to education, because like I said at the beginning of this, kids are prone to accidents. So Premier Support is our VIP of services. You call one phone number, you talk to one technician who handles your case from beginning to end. And the other great thing about Premier Support, because none of us can handle having downtime on our PCs right now, you get parts prioritization, which I think is great. And then with Premier Support, it'll go very, very nicely with our accidental damage protection, because like I said, kids are prone to accidents, dropping laptops, breaking screens. So why not consider adding ADP? And then obviously we have warranty and extensions, on-site warranty, all of that as well. And then I don't want to scare anyone, but I do like to always mention security in my presentations, just because it is a top priority for pretty much everyone, a top concern for sure. And with the fact that we've all been working from home learning from home, we are connecting to our home Wi-Fi versus the school Wi-Fi versus the work Wi-Fi. And when we're connecting to our home Wi-Fi, we have to keep in mind that we might have kids that are virtual learning. We might have a spouse that works for a corporate job working from home. You might have teenagers aimlessly scrolling the internet. So how does that impact your device? How does that impact your network? And also another complexity of that is with working or learning from home, we also have IoT devices. We have things like, I don't want to say it too loud because I don't want her to hear me. We have things like Alexa. We have things like, I have a Simply Safe alarm system. So these are all surface attacks where these bad guys could get in. And in 2020, we did see an increase in cyber attacks and ransomware. And as you can see here, since 2016, there has been 855 cyber incidents in US schools. And it is the #1 priority of IT admins in K through 12. With security, we all need to probably practice better hygiene around it. For us, it's just kind of like we're used to having all these devices. We're used to it working for us. We're used to having, let's say, the same password for everything, which don't do, but you know, we all do it. So security is going to continue to be something that is very important in the education space. And if you want a deeper dive on this, we can bring in our specialists. But I do want to mention with cybersecurity in the education space, Sentinel-1 is something that has been gaining tons of traction. It is one of our security partnerships. And with Sentinel-1, it is pretty much the modern age antivirus. So with Sentinel-1, it will detect bad behavior. In the past, antivirus would just detect bad files. But with this Sentinel-1, you'll know right away if there's a threat on your network, because scary enough, most of the time it takes around 95 days for someone to realize that there is a threat on their network. And with Sentinel-1, this is part of our ThinkShield security brand. And with ThinkShield, I did talk a little bit about those hardware features on our ThinkPads. And then also with those ThinkPads, I didn't mention the fact that we do have a Think shutter on every single one of our cameras, so you don't have to use a sticky note anymore. We also have another great security partnership with Absolute, which is great for the education space as well. Full visibility into that fleet of devices. And then the last thing I do want to mention is that Lenovo does have a trusted supplier program, which just means for any manufacturers of different components that go into these devices, we heavily vet them. Security is something that we take very seriously, and we have so much to talk about when it comes to ThinkShield. I'm only scratching the surface today. Pao, is there anything else that you want me to add around security?
The only thing that I will say is how I see ThinkShield is just like an umbrella of possibilities to increase the security in every device, from hardware, software, and data protection, moving on. So like it's such a big umbrella that it fits in every single environment. It's just not one thing just fits all. It's just many possibilities to protect every single devices to, as you said, prevent these issues with security.
Yep. That was great. Great point. So that sums up our portion of today's presentation. I hope you all got a better idea of what Lenovo's been up to in terms of our products. Obviously, we do have the Windows devices for students. We also have our new ThinkPads that are rolling out right now. And then we also have tons of different accessories and services that can help students and teachers as well. So with that, I'm going to pass it back over.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. That was awesome. I actually learned a lot, and I actually use Lenovo. So interesting. Actually, I have two. I have two laptops.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Awesome.